All right, welcome back to episode 6 of Pioneer March Madness. Group play is done.
Group play is over.
Mission week, February 2025. I don't think I've been that excited since I was a second lieutenant with a 50 cal going cyclic next to my face.
It was crazy.
I was air punching, kicking the door. I was super pumped.
Yeah.
Huge moves. All the stations did a great job.
Some might say it was madness.
It was. And we're now in March Madness.
Oh, yeah.
Group 1, Chillicothe held off Colerain. Steady points all the way through, locked out the 1 seed. 6-man station, taking that 1 seed in the tournament. Any other surprises in Group 1?
No, I mean, just the steadiness of Chillicothe, just constantly, relentlessly scoring, making it happen, you know. I mean, they deserve the 1 seed. Galley didn't quite make it out of there. Columbus East, that's a hard charging station. Westchester, these are big time stations here, you know. Just everyone there is really good.
Yeah, Galley had a huge month, 24 points in February. If they had done a little bit more in March, they potentially could have been competitive in that number 1 group.
Yep.
I was a little disappointed. Early on, way back in December, once we finalized the points and we started doing our research, by mid-January, I thought Columbus East and Westchester were going to be the favorites out of here.
Yeah, same here. Columbus East, again, Sergeant Briggs out there in Columbus East got here 6 to 8 months ago, making a name for himself. So
yeah, definitely putting in the contracts, but our point system worked to reward the quality and that consistency.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, moving down to Group 2. Grove City winning the group, and Springfield getting a wild card slot with 39 points in second place. Impressive push by Springfield. I didn't have them anywhere on the map.
Yeah, Springfield, huge week 4, 12 points, secured the 6th seed. This is another big group too, with Zanesville in there, Newport in there, Newark, Dublin. Just 2 really high performers in 1 huge week to get you in there.
Yeah, I remember Newport, Newark, they had a quick start. They were leading early in January, but Grove City found their groove, and then Springfield, absolutely doing things the right way. Just getting people in there, consistency. They were lead line all the way through the month. Shockingly enough, they're the only team to make the tournament that didn't get their 75% contributor bonus in February. So I don't know how they did it, but pulling off some major points right in quality.
Key stat there, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I had Zanesville. Sergeant Smith had a big month. He wrote 3 contracts. He pushed them back up into that 3rd spot. I thought they were going to make a big move mission week. They got up a couple points, but not enough to make it to the tournament.
Yeah. He tried to will him. He was up here. Everyone saw. He made the show, but unfortunately, it's a team sport here, and he did a lot, but he didn't do enough.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to like Springfield and Grove City coming into the tournament, that 6th seed. I think they're an underdog. I think they've got a shot to pull some upsets. Interestingly, the way our bracket's set up, Group 2 is facing Group 2 first round.
Yeah.
The 3 and the 6 seed going at each other. So going to be excited moving into March Madness.
Interesting matchup. Yeah, we'll talk more about that later when we get into the bracket, because I have some thoughts on that too.
Yep. And then down in Group 3, Athens, holding it off.
You called it.
I did.
Call it. I remember you saying that. Again, another big week. That vaulted Athens up there. So, Hillsborough, those are my guys out there. Almost made it, guys. So.
Yep, they had a good push. Sergeant Ladd, he was correct. He said we've got Athens in our rear view, and sure enough, there they came, charging up at the end, winning Group 3, and then Hillsborough led most of the time, 31 points, just not enough to make that wild card spot because they got Colerain and Springfield ahead of them on total points.
Yeah.
But if they had been in another group, 4, 5, or 6, potentially being in the tournament.
Oh yeah.
But super competitive. Yeah, everybody in that group did really well. Anybody you had picked in that group that surprised you who didn't make the tournament?
Yeah, we talk about Columbus West a lot. They send everything down there, and again, 16 points week 4. It's not enough. It's the consistency that gets you. 28 points in group play, 16 in 1 week, and did they have more? We don't know. Are they building now? Would they have been successful in the tournament? We'll never know.
Maybe. Well, I do know that they are close for that volume mission. With the way they've produced at the end there, they can push in March and still win points for the company and potentially win the volume mission and get that 4-day as a consolation prize. Yeah, I had Columbus West as my favorite here. They had a huge T&E coming in. They were processing people quickly. I thought they were going to get it done, but Athens just turned it on. Game time.
Turned it on at the right time.
Absolutely. Group 4. We had some predictions come true. Florence eked it out over Westerville. Got that 75% contribution bonus with a 9-man station. Impressive.
Oh, yeah. Florence, Florence probably one of the most consistent stations in this tournament right now. That's going to be key to get through the actual Elite Eight onto into the championship. So just keep doing what you're doing out there. They were winning by 2 when week 4 started, and they finish out group play winning. They won their group by 9. So.
Yep, 16 points in Mission Week. That'll absolutely do it.
Points.
Yeah, pulling away from Westerville. My prediction for Group 4 was Huber Heights. They never really got the balls rolling. I thought they would get it going, but like you said, Florence, I feel like every week you talk about their consistency, and here they are making it in the tournament. Excellent work. All right, down in Group 5, Ashland. So shout out to Sergeant King. I sent out the notes to everybody. He's the only one that double-checked our math, caught an error. They had got into the tournament with a tiebreaker for not taking any losses in January, February. But with the correction to their mission, they actually won outright on points. We had them missioned incorrectly, so they got 3 points for closing out the mission that month and taking Group 5 away from a hotly contested group.
Oh, yeah. This group, they were all, 3 of them tied at the top.
Yeah, we had Eastgate, Lancaster, and Ashland all tied last week. And Portsmouth had the biggest week in the entire battalion, 19 points.
19 points.
On Mission Week. Got their contributor bonus, wrote quality, got lead line, overproduced for the month. The BC Sergeant Major points were kicking in. They're just absolutely firing on all cylinders down there.
And Sergeant Huffman on leave out there too, so
Station.
Making it happen without him.
Station's still working. Mark of a good leader right there. But Ashland winning the group. They also scored the most bonus points in February from the BC and Sergeant Major. They had Sergeant King write 4 contracts. I don't know. They had another NCO write 3 contracts. That was bonus points. Like I said, overproduced. They're just raking in everything the BC and Sergeant Major asked them to do. They're like, yeah, we got you. Points.
Send us the points. There, team captain, just willing them into the spot.
Getting after it. Yeah, unfortunately, CSM's prediction, Eastgate, couldn't quite maintain the momentum to get into the tournament. But that's exciting. We got our eyes on Ashland there as the 7th seed. They got some stuff ahead of them. Mm-hmm. And then the last group. This is why I was punching the air. This is the excitement. This is why we toiled over all the math. Xenia had been dead last for the entire tournament and just kind of like sneaking in, point here, point there. And then Mission Week, they got the contributor bonus, they got the mission bonus, and they went from last spot to winning their group with 23 points in Group 6.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing right there. 18 points in week 4. And yeah, that was the group that we said it's anybody's group last week. And everyone made it competitive. I think Hamilton was winning. And just a 6-point performance. They couldn't overcome the 18 from Xenia.
Yeah, small 3-man station putting in the work, doing an absolutely awesome job. So yeah, we've made it through group play. Now it's time for March Madness.
The dance.
The dance is here.
I am inevitable.
That was serious.
Feeling it. If you weren't ready, you got to be ready now.
Just like that, we were down to 8. 1 seed, Chillicothe, taking on Xenia, the Darling.
The Darling.
The 2008 Davidson, the 2024 NC State. Do you think they can make a run against Chillicothe?
Chillicothe, they're going to be consistent. They're going to score points. They're averaging 6 1/3 points per week through the 9 weeks of group play. Xenia just has that one huge week. Do they have more in them? Are they going to continue that? That's what's going to be key here. You have 2 weeks in this first round. One really good week could potentially win the round for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great point to highlight. For the Elite 8, first and second weeks in March, that's the points. That's whatever you've got on the table. If you got your contributor bonus, if you sign out the month, or if you lock out the month, that's everything. And those bonus points aren't going to carry over into week 3 for the Final Four and to the championship. So potentially a little strategy to play with who you think you're going to beat and if you need to save some points for the title.
Yeah, and I'm going to call it here. I'm going to say Chillicothe. There's a number 1 seed.
Whoa!
I have
like
to give
it.
it to him. I have to give it to him. I just think consistency is going to be key. They're going to get double digits through the 2 weeks. In Xenia, you have to count on a super huge week just based off of what they've shown us. They're either going to score 2 points or 20.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to burst your bubble, but I did a little sneak peek from yesterday. Guess who's tied? 4 points apiece.
really,
Chile and Xenia.
as of right now.
As of right now,
Okay,
as of
there we go.
recording.
All right,
So
all right.
maybe they can pull it off. Xenia said, all right, bet.
Might have to eat those words.
Yep.
All right.
And then moving over to the 2 and 7 seed, I would say this is probably the hottest matchup.
Oh yeah.
Number 1 underdog, everybody's favorite, Ashland, coming in on points, trying to take down the champ, Coleraine.
Ashland, Sergeant King can do it. Again, another Xenia situation here. Did they give it all during mission week? Do they still have some left? Coleraine, notoriously slow starters.
Yep.
This is the opportunity here.
Absolutely.
Are they going to do it? So
Going back to when we did our initial research, Ashland was the fastest processor of any station in the battalion. They averaged 33 days flash to bang. So if anybody's going to make quick moves, I think Ashland's going to get up the court, score some points, and potentially unseat the beast.
they can do it. They can do it.
Yep, and then moving down to the 3 and 6 matchup, that Grove City and Springfield. Again, another tight matchup, only 7 points separating them through January and February. It comes down to these 2 weeks of who can produce consistently.
Yeah. And this is the first time in this tournament. Like group play, you're scoring points, you're just trying to score as many points as possible. Now you're going head to head with somebody, and these are 2 stations that are, in my opinion, pretty evenly matched. They're going to be consistent. They can throw alphas on the floor, strong leadership in there. It's anyone's game there. This is a very, very interesting matchup. And honestly, whoever comes out of this, they might have the momentum to go all the way.
Absolutely. I think the dogfight between Coleraine and Ashland potentially leaves potentially an easier win for 1 week of production from Grove City or Springfield.
Absolutely.
And then down to the closest matchup, we had Florence and Athens. 41 points apiece, 4 and 5 seed coming in. Florence wrote more quality overall, so they got the 4th seed nod. Who do you got, Florence versus Athens?
I want to say Florence. I went against Athens once. That was kind of a mistake.
Yeah.
Again, Florence, one of my personal favorites, Sergeant Nava, right?
The permanent shout
He
out.
can get them across the permanent shout out for Sergeant Nava. I think he can get them across the line there. Athens, another one. They had a really good week. Are they going to stay consistent? Not that they're a bad station either. It's just they kind of stumbled a little bit in group play, whereas Florence didn't. Another tough matchup, but I think Florence pulls it out.
Yeah, I don't want to make a pick, but I'd have to say, with how many times we mentioned the consistency from Florence, I don't think there's any way they misstep. Now that they made it to the Elite 8, I think they're going to put it in. That train's rolling, and I think that's going to be the tightest matchup, just ahead of Grove City and Springfield, if I had to put my money on it. Yeah, that wraps it up. And then for the company totals, we totaled January and February, 4 company pulling out the lead, 168 points. And the next closest was 2 company with 154.
Yeah, so Columbus Company, they closed that lead a little bit. It was 31 last week. Last week. So they closed it. So they're not just going to lay down and die. A lot of stations aren't in this tournament that are big hitters, that just missed out. So that's where we're going to see. Do you want to get your company across the line? You're going to get that belt for your company, or are you just going to say, hey, I want my 3-day weekend and I'm out of here? I know 4 companies fighters. Let's see 2 company. You got to come back. You got to make a big comeback.
Yeah, and then close on their heels, 7 company had a huge push in February. Reminder to the companies and the stations out there, this is also Marauder Madness. So the Brigade tournament starts this week. So there's some bragging rights for large, medium, and small companies in there. So hopefully we don't have anybody phoning it in. We want all of our companies to do well in the Brigade competition, which, like we said last time, I think they will. I think we've got some strong potential going through there. And then the bottom 3, we've got 3 company at 116, 6 company at 113, and 8 company with 99. So still competitive all the way through. Like I mentioned, I think 8 company, I think they're in a good spot for that small company. Yeah, I think they've got a lot of potential there. But yeah, that wraps it up. Elite 8 is here, March Madness, all the math paid off. It's time to watch the dance.
There we go.
Courage and grit.
Grit to win.